Right, welcome to lesson 2. Here we're still doing factorization, but we're looking at difference of two squares. Very commonly asked in exams. Alright, so undefining products, when we did in the previous lessons, we had x plus 3 times x minus 3. If the terms are the same in both brackets, but one is positive and negative, we just say x times x to get x squared, and 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So we only multiplied first with first and last with last. Right, so this expression x squared minus 9 is referred to as difference of two squares. Square x times x, 3 times 3 to get 9. So difference of two squares will always consist out of two terms that are always separated by a minus sign. That's why we use the word difference. And our perfect squares like x squared, x times x, 3 times 3, y squared times y squared, 6 times 6, etc. Alright, but let's look at some problems. Alright, so if we look at problem number 1, the question would say factorize. I have 16x squared minus 64y squared. We assume you know 16x squared is 4x times 4x. 64y squared is 8y times 8y. Separated by a minus sign, so if I factorize that, it simply becomes 4x times 4x, 8y times 8y, but one must be negative and the other one positive. That's the only way. Negative times positive gives me the negative. Look at 4p squared minus 81q, 4 is 2 times 2, p squared is p times p. Negative sign will become negative and positive. 81 is 9 times 9, q squared times q squared. So you see there, to factorize, simply have 2p times 2p, 9q squared times 9q squared. One is negative and the other one is positive. Right. Problem number 3, I have x16 minus 100. So x16, x8 times x8. Remember, 8 plus 8, 16. 100 is 10 times 10. So if we factorize that, it's going to be x to the power 8 times x to the power 8. 100 would be 10 times 10, but the negative sign must be negative times positive. It doesn't matter in which one you decide to put the negative or the positive. So there, I'm done factorizing. Look at problem number 4, fraction format. 1 is simply 1 times 1. 36 you should know is 6 times 6. 1 there is 1 times 1. 25 is 5 times 5. X squared is simply x times x. Y to the power 4, y squared times y squared. So there I have 1 over 6 times 1 over 6. 6 times 6 gives me 36. X times x to give me the x squared. One bracket negative, other one positive, because there's a minus sign between these two perfect squares. 1, 5 times 5, which gives me 25, and y squared times y squared. So hope you follow, hope you understand. Right, this is simply difference of two squares. I wish you nothing but the best. Continue practicing. You will only get better. Alright. You look at the last problem here. x4 minus 16. So x to the power 4 would be x squared times x squared. Remember, 2 plus 2 would give me 4. 16 you should know is 4 times 4. But one bracket positive and the other one negative. Alright. Now x squared plus 4, I can't factorize further, so that stays the same. But if I look at x squared, it's still a perfect square, and 4 is still a perfect square, and there's a minus sign in between. So x squared becomes x times x, and 4 becomes 2 times 2, one bracket negative, other one positive. So take note, the sum of two squares has no factors and can't be factorized. That I'll explain in grade 11 when you do nature of roots. We have to find the square root of a negative value or imaginary numbers, which we don't do at school. Right, I hope you follow. Nothing but the best.